Okay, welcome back. Something new. I'm not known for being the biggest Star Trek fan. More of a Star Wars fan, but I do have some appreciation for Star Trek, especially from the movies. And I don't mean like um, the Next Generation movies. Not even most of the Star Trek television shows. Um, while I'm a fan of the original cast of Star Trek, Kirk, Spock, the original cast. I'm no fan of the original series. However, I love the movies. I think the motion picture was hugely underrated. I think it was a great movie. Wrath of Khan being the best sequel in a series like that, next to The Empire Strikes Back being the best sequel in the Star Wars universe. The Wrath of Khan is just amazing. And we're looking right now at my favorite ship from that series, from that movie, the Reliant. I should have bought the Enterprise as well when it was available, and I didn't. I'm going to have to look for it, I guess. But we have the Reliant here. I think this is, what scale is this? 1/1000 scale. Not a lot to it, as it turns out. We have the shell, the saucer, I guess, and we have the rest of the parts. That's it. And it's remarkable because even the instructions, there's just nothing to it. This is a simple kit. It is a snap kit, so that makes sense too. They tend to keep snap kits very simple. Um, I'm running into one problem already, and I haven't even opened it up, and that is, how do I paint it? In the picture, and I don't know if it's showing up very well on camera here. Maybe I could zoom in a little bit here. There's a lot of boilerplating, what they call. Um, different colored panels all the way around. I can't do that. Especially on this scale. I think this would just be a nightmare to try and make that work. So I'm just gonna paint it straight. Uh, it calls for ghost gray. I don't actually have ghost gray, um, but I have a very similar shade, very similar color. So I'm gonna use what I got. Same thing for the blues and even the rust. I'm not sure where rust would be on this, but it does ask me to use a rust paint. Again, don't have any idea what part that is that needs rust, because again, there's very little information. Um, this is Polar Lights. If I didn't know better, it was a rehash of an AMT kit because uh, there's just no information at all in terms of colors and on the instructions. The box, however, if you open it up, there's all kinds of information around the box. There's the color scheme. Again, it doesn't tell you which parts you paint these colors because there's two shades of blue. Well, which one gets what? I don't know. Uh, but pretty cool. And of course, I think these are all decal markings, so it tells you where the decals need to go. I will not be using the battle damage decals. Not my thing, and honestly, I don't know how I could make them lay perfectly flat anyway. Oh, that might be the rust color. So it won't be a rust. It won't be rust specifically. It'll just be that shade of paint. So that's pretty cool. So there we are. We're gonna get started. Not a traditional unboxing at all. I've already actually done that, I think, with this particular kit in a previous video. And honestly, there's nothing really to unbox, as I said. So I'm gonna paint everything first, the gray that I have. Prime it and paint it. And then from there we'll go on to painting any of the other details, the blues, the blacks, whatever it needs. It should be a real simple build. So anyway, I'll go ahead and paint and we will be back. Okay, so this is where we are at the moment. I do want to say, let me adjust that camera real quick. There we go. Okay, I do want to say real quick, as an apology, you can probably hear the humming in the background. That is my air conditioning. it is unbearably humid and hot where I am at the moment, and that's saving my life. So just bear with the noise, and I do apologize. I've started painting, and I've come to a realization with this kit. I think it's going to be easier just to assemble the whole darn thing and paint it from there. Because there's only like a dozen parts anyway. It's a very simple snap fit type kit. So this is where we're at the moment. Very basic, but it looks good. I mean, it's a nicely detailed kit, you know, for what it is. I did note one thing. I pointed out in the previous segment that there was a color guide here. Let me bring that camera back up. That there is a color guide here. This color guide makes no mention of the darker shades, like this one here, for instance. That's not one of the colors that it's recommending. So I kind of did a little bit of mixing. I have this one here. It's pretty close. It's a blue-green gray. So that's what that shade right there is. I think it's going to look fine. So I think I'm going to have to do a little mixing here and there. It is what it is. But I think I'll go ahead and I'll just assemble the whole thing, minus a few parts. Of course, we don't want to paint over clear parts, so I'll have to wait on those. But I'll assemble it, and I'll do a little bit of painting, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've done some painting. I mean, if you really wanted to see just how simple this kit is, that's basically all the parts. There's not a lot to it. So I got the this upper part done. This will actually go above up here. I got these parts done. And they are just snapped on. Again, this is a snap kit. I got a bit more detail painting to do, but I'm trying to find decent pictures of some of the ships, some of the ships like this, because I don't really know what colors are what. This part here is black, of course, and that's what I painted it. Change that camera. But the instructions only call to put a plastic dome here, clear. And I'm wondering if that dome should be some other color. The problem is the box really, I mean, as many decent pictures as the box has, it really doesn't say anything about, you know, what colors to paint clear parts and things like that. So yeah, I'm a little unsure, to be honest. So I'm sure this in no way will be strictly accurate to the movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble most of these parts and finish painting, and we'll be back for decals. Okay, I think we're essentially done with the build, the construction. I like it. It looks really nice. It's for what it is. I mean, it's a small snap kit. There might have been 20 pieces. I mean, there's not a lot of parts in this kit. I do have some touch-up painting to do, and then decals, which take it off the stand here. It's a nice little stand, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm very pleased with it. I'm still debating on putting on the battle damage decals. Not really my thing, but I don't know. It's pretty iconic in the movie, you know. But all in all, I like it. I'm very pleased with it. It looks like the Reliant, at least. That's something. I mean, you know, you don't want to build these things and have it not look like what it's supposed to look like. So, it being a snap kit, you can always expect to do a little bit of gluing. I mean, there's no way around it. So I had to dig out my super powerful bottle glue, and I ended up gluing a lot more than I thought I would, given that, again, it is a snap kit. But it is what it is. So I'll do the touch-up painting, and we will move on to decals. I'm not going to do I'm not going to show the decals. Frankly, I'm not very good at it, and it's pretty boring anyway. So when we come back, it should be done. Okay, welcome back. Once again, I apologize for the noise. Air conditioning, hot, we're done. I genuinely like it. Of course, the Reliant being my favorite ship of the Star Trek universe anyway. The kit, not gonna lie, it's not a great kit. The detailing is nice. The decals are very, very nice. For the most part, they work. There were some exceptions. I'll go over those in a minute. But it's a great kit. Otherwise, it's just not, being a snap kit, it's not as detailed as it should be. But then again, it's a spaceship. It's a shell. It's not, there's not going to be a lot of outward detail anyway. So, and I really like the stand. I think that came in very handy while I was working on decals and things. On the subject of decals, they suck. The decals for this kit, aside, I mean, to say they suck, they worked fine. They held up great. Again, with one notable exception, and I'll show that in a second. There's just so many of them, and so many small ones, and some of them really had to conform to some really, really odd shapes. And as I've said in many videos, my last video being the Thunderbird, I'm no good with decals, especially the water slides. But I think I did all right with this kit. I think it looks very good. That notable exception I was just talking about is the red pinstriping back here around what I presume is kind of an engine detail. I had to paint those on because the decal for that is so minute and so thin that when I was trying to apply it, it just crumbled. It was falling apart as I was putting it on the ship. The same thing kind of goes for some of these, the yellow parts here, I presume are the phaser banks, or whatever they call them in Star Trek. Same thing up here. I painted those because the decals, they just wouldn't work. I couldn't make them work. That was the only real complication I had, though, really, in terms of decals. It being a snap kit, I recommend using glue anyway. There were some parts as I was assembling it that kept wanting to come apart as I was trying to assemble it. These struts, or whatever they're called, pylons that hold the nacelles in place. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Again, I'm a Star Wars fan, not a Star Trek fan. They just kept falling off as I was trying to install the nacelles. What else? Oh, I had an awful hard time when I was clear coating it. Of course, I went with a matte finish. I didn't want it too shiny. The decals, they've got little minute bubbles all over them. I don't know why. I'm not concerned at all about that. I think it still looks really good. Zoom in a bit there so we can see it. But I think it looks really good for what it is and for what I did. If you can get it, and you can get it at a low price, say $20, it's worth it. I don't think I'd go much higher than that, honestly. I don't remember what I might have paid $25 for it at Christmas time. I think that was the price I paid. I wish I could have got the Enterprise to go with it. I didn't. I passed on it, and I wish I had got it, because they would look great on a shelf together, but I didn't. That being said, I don't know that I want to do another Star Trek kit. I have another one in the original series Enterprise, which isn't my favorite, but I got it, just because. That might happen soon. I don't know. It depends on how far down in my model stash I get. But yeah, I'm pleased with it. It does look good. I think it looks the part. Not as much decal work on the bottom. Hangar bays, I assume, 1 and 2. I think it came out pretty good. And of course, I was going by the box art, the box colors, as best I could. I don't remember what it looked like in the movie. I don't remember it having blue stripes on it anywhere. But I could be remembering that anyway. The stand. I like it. I like the metal rod. I like the base, although it is pretty flimsy. This thing here, this works pretty well, and it seems to stay pretty solid. But it's the connector. You put the ship on it. It's basically just it just balances on it. But if you put it in, say, a pose, and it tips just a bit one way or the other, it just keeps rolling. So there's not a lot holding it in place. Because I happen to like this sort of position here. But if I walk by it, or if I just look at it just right, it does weird things. But it is what it is. And I may glue it in place. Who knows? So anyway, yeah, I think, again, if you can get it, especially if it's at a fair price. Not particularly challenging. Looks pretty good. I think it looks the part. I could have put on the battle damage. I did not. Frankly, I was done with putting decals on. It took me half of the project was the decals. So I don't think I'll be putting on the battle damage at all. I think that's about it. Not much more to say. Great kit. Decals bored the crap out of me. I think that was my main problem with them. But it was fun. And I think the colors came out great too. So again, if you can get it. If you're a Star Trek fan, you probably want this in your collection. So that's it. Thanks for watching.